Don't sound so disappointed.
Matching hundreds. It's the coach. This is the 2020 season on EA Sports. Coming up, we'll see teams with a couple of running backs who each went over 100 yards a weekend ago, as it'll be the Tampa Bay Buccaneers taking on the Atlanta Falcons. I'll have scores around the league for you at the half, but it's time for a little football. So we'll hand it over to our broadcast team, Brandon Godden and Charles Davis.
Coach, the weather this time of year in the South, perfect. Fall football weather, and we've got the roof wide open here at Mercedes-Benz Stadium in the heart of Georgia. The scene a few moments ago, here it is. It's unlike any other in sport as both teams made their way out of the tunnel. These folks are fired up as their guys are ready to do battle between the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and the Atlanta Falcons. Hello again, everyone. Brandon Gaudin along with Charles Davis. And, Charles, we take a look at this Falcons team as they interplay. They've been cooking these last couple months. Winners of 7 of their last 8 games.
And if you extrapolate that out to a full season, they'd be 14-2. And anyone in the NFL today would sign up for that.
On the other side of the field for the visiting Bucs, they too were winners last time out, so something's got to give here.
And I love it when both teams come in off of wins. Great mindsets, and it usually leads to a really well-played game.
Right now, the division or the playoff picture.
The NFL season has hit high gear, and off we go in Week 11 on EA Sports. This fielded a few yards into the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. So out come the Bucs now for their first drive. They'll be under the command of the former Florida State Seminole, the #1 overall pick in 2015, Jameis Winston.
And he ought to have a lot of pep in his step after last week's performance because he did exactly as you want him to play if you're a coach. 3 touchdown passes, 0 interceptions, which usually means you're making a lot of right decisions out there.
And got him the win.
Ready? No. I got it.
Jameis now on first down. It's caught by Mike Evans. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. 14 yards there on the first play from scrimmage. The numbers for Evans a week ago. 4 catches, 68 yards.
And he was able to pull that last pass in, but he's going to face a tall order here because he's going up against the #2 unit in the NFL against the pass.
That throw good for 4. It's second down. And we get a glance now at the Buccaneer offense.
And they're coming off a good win on the road last week, but they do know that they have a home game next week. So all the focus has to be, can they get a second win on the road and make going home that much sweeter? That's the intention in this ball game.
4 yards on that last completion, so that sets up 2nd and 6. And this one's going to go the wrong way. Losing yardage back at the 42. He lost 2 there, and it's 3rd down.
Well, I know it goes against the instincts of the person catching the ball because all you're ever taught is catch the football, don't drop it.
But drop it there.
Yeah, in that situation, dropping it would have been better. End up losing yardage.
And Winston lost the football. So instead of giving them another third down, they'll decline it, brings up 4.
Now that's smart football right there. You don't even have to really spend a lot of time considering it. Just know that you're probably going to get the ball back. Good job declining that penalty.
And this one hits at the 1, continues on into the end zone for a touchback. So here come the Falcons now to get the football for the first time. They'll be led out by a man who rewrote Brett Favre's passing records at Southern Miss. It's Nick Mullins.
You know what I did in pregame? I made sure I touched him as he went by. I want a little bit of what he's got.
The golden arm from last week.
Oh, how much fun was that to watch that game tape, all right? The number of touchdowns, what was that, 5 last week?
Yeah.
But 0 interceptions. So you think he's due to throw a pick, but I'm betting that he continues the streak in this game.
A first carry now for Kareem Hunt. And he's going to get 7 out of this before being taken down at the 27. The numbers on the ground for Hunt a week ago. 2 trips to the end zone and well past 100 yards.
And going back and watching the film, we saw every kind of run from him, didn't we? We saw some power, we saw finesse, we saw speed, and what I love the most, he finished each and every run.
Here now the offensive starters for Atlanta.
And the schedule makers have given them a little break right here. Back-to-back home games, and they won last week. So they're trying to make it 2 in a row before they hit the road next week. They have to take advantage of this break in the schedule.
They're going to look to throw. Throw left side complete. It's Haynes. Touchdown, Falcons. A big play there with his first career NFL touchdown as his guys are able to strike first here in this opening quarter. An ideal start for them, really. You force the punt, and then you go down and score.
And you've got to see a fist pump on the sideline from the head coach, don't you? Because he's turned into his bench, and he's telling his team, this is how we prepare. Force the punt, go downfield and score. I told you guys, it's just like a boxer in the gym preparing for the fight. Now we get to turn it all loose.
That'll be taken in the end zone. And no run back here. This will be a touchback, and it comes out to the 25-yard line. And Tampa Bay trots out there now. And to be frank, they're just in a tough spot. It's only November, already eliminated from playoff contention. I know their fan base doesn't want to hear that, but that's the case. What are they fighting for now going forward?
You know exactly what they're fighting for is that word that some people don't want to hear, but it's pride.
Draft. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Let's go draft, but pride's better, right?
You know something? You're right, because that's part of it, but that's 2 different mindsets. That's front office mindset, draft position. Where are we going to be and what do we need to get? And then the players and the coaching staff right now, pride. Can they win some games and feel better about themselves despite the fact they have no shot at the playoffs?
Ball on the 30. They'll come up with a 2nd and 5. Our first carry now for Jordan Howard. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. 5 men in the secondary now for the Falcons on 3rd down. Working out of the gun. Winston. Open man is Godwin. It's complete.
Let's go, boys. Bring it up.
We've seen quite a bit of the short passing game here early on first quarter, haven't we?
We have, and I think it works a couple of ways for this team because, number one, you throw the short game until they stop it. And if they're not going to stop it, you keep throwing it, and occasionally you break a tackle and turn it into a bigger game. Also, if they start to creep up, start to pressure receivers, now you go over the top, take it deep, and now you get some of those big shots downfield.
On 2nd and 11 now. Winston looking for Godwin, and he's got him complete. 4 yards on the completion, and it sets up a 3rd down. I think defensively you're okay with that. Here in the first quarter, he's going to get some catches, but they rallied to him quickly.
And that's what you count on, and I like what you just said. First quarter, can you do it all game long? They catch it, you tackle them, they go down on the spot.
And the Falcons get there. The Falcons get the sack. Down he goes. Taco Charlton in there to get him for a loss of 9 yards, and that also leads to 4th down. Great job defensively. I think he was trying to go through his progressions, find someone to get rid of the football. Before he knew it, he was on his back.
So that just brings us right back to what you said in the beginning. A great job defensively. Nowhere to go with the football. That led to the sack.
Here comes the Atlanta offense now ready to take over here. And it's only November, but the playoffs, we know how it works. They'll be here before you know it. If it ended today, they would be the #1 seed.
And that's a great spot to be in, but I love the phrase, if it ended today. And I'll guarantee you, that's what they've discussed in their locker room, in their meeting rooms. Yeah, we know where we'd be if it ended today, but we also know it's not ending today.
Right.
So they've got to continue to play the type of ball that put them in the spot where they're #1 in their conference.
They'll look to throw here on first down. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Shaquille Barrett in there to get him, and that is sack number 6 now for him on the year. And on that one, the protection just broke down.
You've got to have that leverage, don't you? We always talk about low man wins in the running game for an offensive lineman versus a defensive lineman. It's essentially the same thing in pass protection. Get lower than that defensive lineman so that you can keep your balance and keep him away from your guy trying to throw the football.
Now a man open down the middle of the field. And he gets this to the 35. Good for a gain of 5. That catch good for 5. It's third down. A look at the Buccaneers starters now on defense. They played really well in the win over the Raiders a week ago.
And while you can't actually see confidence rising in a unit, you can tell by this team, all right? Anytime you can tell your offense, hey, just get us a couple touchdowns. We've got this thing locked down. That's when you know you're playing well and you're carrying your team along.
Now on 3rd and long, they'll look to throw. Flushed out right. Got a man on the right sideline. It's Haynes. A good pickup there, 21 yards. So from Buccaneer territory now, it's 1st and 10 at the 44-yard line. After one, 7-0 on EA Sports. They'll look to throw now on first down. Flush to his right. And he's going to be brought down here in the backfield. Devin White, he's the one that got home and takes him down for a loss of 9.
Okay, was it a breakdown in protection? Did the running back not pick him up? What does it really matter? Sometimes it's just a great play made by the defense. Big-time sack.
Check Mike 45. And watch delay.
They'll look to throw here. He's going to rifle one deep left side. And it's knocked away and incomplete. The former first-round pick, Vernon Hargraves, the one who was there defensively.
How about this offense already feeling good about themselves with a touchdown already in their first drive? They've certainly come out firing, even though that one was incomplete.
With the 7-0 lead, more apt to take a shot like that downfield.
Hey,
nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Vita Vea breaking through to get the sack.
Are you seeing what I'm seeing? That's 3 sacks now, and this team came into the game in the bottom 5 in the league in sacks.
Yeah,
What's going on?
It's not been their bread and butter. I don't know. Is a blind squirrel finding a nut, or is this something they can build on?
Well, they found some momentum. They found a crack in that offensive line, and they're putting it to good use.
The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. They've had it twice. They've punted twice. Not the start they were hoping for. Now Howard stripped. He lost the football. And the Falcons grab it. And they're going to set up shop at the 27-yard line. Often on fumbles, you look at the guy who coughed it up and say, geez, what did he do? But, hey, let's tip the cap to the defense here.
Not a problem at all, my man. I'm not even going to tip it. I'm going to doff my cap to him. Congratulations. Big-time play. Knocking it free and creating something good for your team.
No gain on the play. It'll be second down. Now he'll look to throw here on 2nd and 10. Into a double team, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 12. And a big turnover there as his guys will get the football back. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And a fumble last time. Ball security. Talk about it all the time in the National Football League. They've got to be better at it on this drive.
Don't you think that when every team gets together for the first time, I don't care if it's OTAs, mini camps, first day of camp in the regular season, ball security comes up about what, the second sentence of the coach's address?
And those are so many drills focus on that.
All the time, and they do drills to make it even tougher to simulate game situations. Doesn't always work out, though.
It's a 4-yard pickup, and that'll make it a second down.
So many times you hear today's NFL described as a space game. Get your best players into space with the football in their hands. That's why sometimes you just swing it out to your runner, get him out in the flat, and let him have a chance to make people miss an open field.
No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. The Bucs on 3rd down, just 1 for 3 thus far. This will be 3rd and 6. Jameis to throw it. And he's going to find his man out of the backfield. That's complete. And they're going to mark him down short, maybe by about a yard, if that.
A short gain that doesn't get them the first down brings up a 4th down situation.
Really nice job defensively. They knew where the sticks were. They got the stop before. And that hits at the 6 and carries into the end zone for a touchback. Nick Mullins now heading out, the subject of our player spotlight. And maybe he's starting to wave the white flag a little bit. He's playing pretty well, but the pressure, it's got to him.
Has to find a way to step around it, step through it, or just handle it. Because, as you mentioned, he's having a pretty good day overall. Just the hits keep coming and taking those sacks. That's not the way that they want to finish a ball game with their quarterback on the ground so much.
Now, he'd like to stay upright. When he's been upright, he's been pretty good. A good start to the drive. That's caught out on the left side. And they're going to get this beyond the 40 before he's taken down. A good pickup there at 22.
He broke one earlier.
One play has him up past the 40 already, and another 1st and 10. On 1st down, they'll run with Hunt. Looking for a seam, but finding none. He'll get back to the line of scrimmage, and that's it. Levante David in on the tackle. Back to throw now on 2nd and 10. Eluding the pressure right. And his throw's going to be incomplete. The Pro Bowl wideout Julio Jones, his intended receiver. And that takes us from 2nd to 3rd down.
That was Julio.
They had the incomplete pass on 2nd down. Now they need a big play here. 3rd and 10. They'll set up a throw. Escaping the pressure right. He may try and run for this. Opted to run for it. The decision a good one. Picking up the first, getting 14 yards on the scramble.
Certainly making his presence felt in both the pass and the run game. He's having an impact.
Yeah, his first carry of the game right there. He had hurt him with his arm. Now he's showing that he can shuffle the puppies as well. He's got the first down here inside the 30. And this will be incomplete. Physical play on the football there, and it's 2nd down. And we'll remind you that coming up at halftime, we'll join Jonathan Coachman and the gang in Orlando. Coach will have stats and scores from the early games going on here around the NFL.
Down the field. Oh.
2nd and 10. Nowhere to escape, and he goes down. Levante David making his presence felt in the backfield.
The amount of sacks that they've absorbed in this game is absolutely extraordinary. Let's just face it. This offensive line, flat out, cannot handle this pass rush. It's been demonstrated time and time again.
He'll drop to throw. Under pressure again, and down he goes again. Now the Bucs going to use the first of their timeouts as they'll head to the sideline and talk over what to do next. The Falcons send out their punter as he'll punt it away for the 2nd time. Fielded just inside the 20. 7 yards on the return after a punt of 39. And the Bucs will get ready to go on offense. The Bucs offense set to begin their next possession. And now with still more than a minute to go in what's been a tight game, you figure we'll try to see them move the ball downfield.
And remember, they get the kickoff to start the 2nd half, so this is a golden opportunity for them to go down there and put up a couple of 6s back-to-back. What a momentum swing that would be.
Yeah, you might be able to get a 2-for-1 without ever even giving up the football. To throw once more on 2nd and 10. Winston. And he caught up. And the Falcons grab it. And he will score. Touchdown, Falcons. So the defense forces the fumble. They get the score. And a guy on defense becoming offensive there, Jones.
And you know they love that. Any guy on defense loves to pick up the ball and have it in his hands and try and score himself. In this case, that's exactly what happened.
He'll be singing in the shower postgame. Now Prater to add the PAT. And it's good to make it 14-0.
What a hit.
The scoop and score, always an exciting play in football, and we witnessed it there, grabbing it off the ground and then rumbling it into the end zone for 6. This is fielded at the goal line.
Oh, shit, flag.
Blocking
it back.
Flag's down. He's up near the 40, but it looks like this one might be coming back. So holding will scratch off some of that return.
And I know fans get frustrated when they see penalties of this sort on kick returns, but it is difficult to do it right against these moving targets at full speed. Hard to do.
That's complete to his receiver, Godwin. The Bucs going to go ahead and use the second of their timeouts, as the clock will stop with 55 seconds to go until halftime. A big hitter to start the drive has him up near midfield here for 1st and 10. The first play of the drive there is incomplete. Those passes out that far wide always make you hold your breath a little bit. Felt like it was in the air for a while.
What it does is it allows a defender to gain some ground, come from a long distance, and have a chance to affect the pass.
Into heavy traffic, and it's intercepted. Picked off at the 39. And the possession is theirs at their own 43-yard line. He's on quite the interception run. He had 2 last week, another one here. Remember, he's not a DB, he's a linebacker.
But how many of those linebackers started as DBs and pumped themselves up into being linebackers? So the ball skills are the same, right? The coverage skills and responsibilities are the same. And